Wednesday night. It's Afro Economics Live. Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I am JB Bryan of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afro Economics, a registered investment advisory firm in Virginia, Washington, D.C., and New York. Definitely take advantage of all of the information available to you at YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Afro Economics is on all of your favorite social media platforms. Make sure you make comments tonight. Let me know you're out there. I was about 30 seconds early. That's how we do it. We're talking about return on your investment, Miss Stark Person. It's all about you. I've been thinking about you and your husband all day long. Gotta talk to the person. Gotta talk to the person. Yes, indeed. I would love for you to turn your camera on, come into the studio, members. I love it. I love it. Well, make sure you make any. I'm gonna make a point on Sunday. How you doing, Simon? I'm gonna make a point on Sunday. For some reason, our chat wasn't working right, but today we look like we're doing it. Mr. Jenkins, how are you? Oh, yes, indeed, Aurelia. Hello back to you. Hello, right back at you. They love giving me little copyright infringement stuff because I love, as y'all can tell, I absolutely love music, and I love, just playing it. So they always they give me a copyright claim, but I don't monetize my social media because it is for empowerment. So please make sure that, oh no problems, person. I understand. I know you all are all across the country doing things. I'm gonna make sure I get us back connected. Indeed, that is my job. But how you doing, Michael Robinson? Thank you for coming into the studio. You and Luanda got y'all cameras off. But I want to make sure that we get feedback on this discussion, because when I think about return on investment, what are we making on the money that we put away? What are we making on the investments that we make? Like, even if you think about it in the most simple form, just say you go to the store and you buy something and it's $100 and you never use it. It hangs in your closet. What is your return on your investment on that material item that you purchased, and it's in your closet? And now you've decided, you know what? I don't think I'll ever wear it. What is the return on the investment when you decide that you're going to go to school and you're going to study something, but you decide to study something that you really have no interest in? So you do, like, say, $20,000 worth of classes and something you have no interest in. It can't help you. You're not learning. It doesn't serve the world. It has no power for you, and you're $20,000 deep in it, and you get out and you get a $30,000 job, and you're still paying the $20,000 loan back. No. What is your return on your investment when you do that? Right. Right. So when I say return on investment, I wanted to go beyond um just the stock market, which is a beautiful thing. And I love my stock investment portfolios that I set up for my clients. I was looking at a on social media, and someone was doing a social media promotion, and they said, if you want to know my, it said I have a degree in finance, and they said if you want to know my top stock picks, click here. So I clicked there, and then I went in and it said enter your email, and I'll email you my top stock picks. And I didn't enter my email because I did not want to know the top stock picks of someone just because they went to college and they studied finance, you know. But they're probably getting a good return on their investment because they're using that finance title to suggest that that means that they know how to pick investments, when finance and college has nothing to do with investments. I did a double major, finance and accounting. And the finance is about corporate finance. So, but I know that. So I guess, thank God, I'm getting a return on my investment because I know not to fill that out. Plus, I know that I'm a licensed financial professional, and it will be a negative return on investment if I try to do something crazy like that, because I cannot suggest specific investments to anyone that I don't know. And I mean, I got to know you, not just look at your name and just look at you and see you make a comment. No, the government does a great job of protecting investors, but social media really doesn't do that. So when you think, oh, well, I'll just put my email here and then I'll get that list and then I'll invest in those things, you could end up with a negative, super negative return on your investment that was just providing the email. Think of that. Your email and getting that information could lead to a loss for you because of the bad information. The information, like, one thing, when we do the calculation for return on investment, when we do the numbers, you know, the numbers, and I might I'm gonna do a share screen. So when we do the numbers really don't reflect that even though an investment has a positive return, it doesn't mean that it is appropriate for you. It can have a positive, it can have a 25% return on investment. You're pleased, and then you find out that when that's it's also associated with extremely high risk, and that investment ends up being very high risk for you, so your overall investment return over time could end up being negative because you just put in your email address, you took this advice, you did not go through making the investment into working with a licensed professional, and now you're getting a negative return because you felt like you were getting something for free. Take the time and invest in you. Take the time to invest with and talk with a registered investment advisory firm. Find a trusted licensed financial advisor. Consider Afro Economics. It even has a free membership so that you can get to know Afro Economics. So, that we have to be careful when we're thinking about return on our investment, because I think that there's been like a movement where um, we're encouraged almost to just be constantly looking just for money, like always just looking for higher returns, higher returns, higher returns. But even if something has 140%, I guess hopefully you can see what I'm sharing, the 140% return, and then you're comparing it to, say, this 40% return on investment, but you'll see that these numbers were calculated totally different. One is the return on investment based on net income, and the next one is return on investment based on capital gain. So when we see, oh, and once you are shared, someone shares with you, oh, the return on investment was a certain percentage, you have to look farther into that. Well, what was that based on? And even if you go deeper, it has to be, and how, what, over what time period? So that's why I encourage my clients that when they're looking at things or thinking about doing something off campus, meaning away from me, to consider running it by, your coach, which would be me, your registered investment advisor, before you do that, to make sure that you're investigating completely, you know, your real return on your investment. Because all of the numbers, as I was sharing, I just wanted to share that how it can be the same number, but it can be we can be looking at the same thing. And I'm gonna go back. I want to go back to that document. We're looking at return on investment formula, return on investment formula. And then I have another one. No, I have another one down here. Return on investment formula based on total return method. So current share price plus dividends minus the original price divided by the original price, times 100%. And then we can do it on capital gain method, current value of the investment minus the cost of the investment divided by the cost of the investment times 100%. So, and now, but if you're only told, oh, the return on the investment is a particular amount, then, shame on you. And that you didn't ask, can you tell me more details? What is that based on? Is it based on capital gains? Is it based on 1 year? Is that based on 10 years? They can give you a return on investment of, say, 200%, and they're basing it on 20 years or 10 years, and you're comparing it to another investment that had a 20%, and they may be basing that on the annual return on investment. So let's make sure that we are in tune with, what is the basis of it? Because that's one, because I want to make sure that in the discussion, and I want you to ask me, because this is not like the easiest topic, because it's so technical. But for some reason, I really wanted to talk about this. So we are. But I wanted to talk about the meaning of the return on your ROI, your return on investment, the meaning of it, calculating the ROI, interpreting it as we just were talking about. You don't compare 10-year ROI to 1 year ROI. And then, like, the benefits of having this formula for determining your performance, the benefits and the disadvantages and the advantages of using ROI. But I think that we need to have just some simple ways, because overall, ROI is one of the easiest ways to just determine if I'm in a positive position on something or not. Even if you're talking about investing in a business, say there was a business, you put $10,000 in it. A year, later, you made $100 from the business, and the business value or what you put into the business is still that 10,000. So you would be at this point a negative return on your investment, but that's year one. And if you look at that compared to the industry, in year one of a startup investment, being down and a negative return may be the norm. So, a really important thing is when you're talking about return on investment, make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, right? Your return on investment um, must be for stocks compared to stocks, but not just stocks. It will be stocks like if you're comparing a pharmaceutical, to consumer staple or something, like or a grocery store stock or something, I wouldn't think that that's appropriate. But even though they're both stocks, I think you could also break it down to your industry, the industry for that particular investment, because then you're comparing it more and more to what it should be compared to. It really should. I don't know what VOT.FYI is. Sounds like something from the government. Y'all have a lot of acronyms. Exactly. How you doing, Miss Porter? VOA.FYI. The No, y'all gonna have to write that out for me. How you doing? Oh, and Mona, I think we have a member named that. Oh, that's you. I love it. I would never have figured that out. Never have figured that out. Peace and insights right back at you. Bring it to us. A passionate root says money can eventually be replenished. Let's look at it. Lost time and energy cannot, but most hopefully becomes a lesson learned for better moves, strategies for improved results. Passionate roots. Well, I'm glad that I motivated you to that comment. Indeed. Money can and sometimes cannot, but time definitely cannot be replenished. And I tell you, that is something that we really need to take home when we're thinking about our investments, because when I was saying about return on investment has to be relative to time, because that time is lost and that time is valuable. So if we have an investment that has a 1 year return that exceeds the return of your investment was over a 10-year period, look at all of that time that you lost. And I see it all the time. when I when I meet someone and they join, and one of the first things that I do is start looking at what they're currently doing. And the truth of the matter is, if you knew how much it costs you to not take your future seriously and speak with a licensed professional that can help you set up a better allocation based on historical performance and your risk tolerance, you would be amazed at the difference it makes with settling for 3% for 30 years versus taking the time to develop a relationship with an advisor that you trust that can help you maximize your plan at work. It will change your entire retirement experience. And I have been doing that for our people. We're getting an opportunity to take advantage of the thing. And at the same time, I still see people doing things away from work with a lower return, with a lower return. Lower, not getting the return that they need. Going through this with two investment groups now. Thanking for the affirming YT Live. Well, I am glad. Yes, indeed. And the yes, indeed. Star. Yes, indeed. We are getting it together. And the so definitely turn on everyone in the studio, turn on your camera because I'm going to bring you in to ask some of these questions. So to address some questions, to make some comments, But so when you turn on when you turn on your camera, then I'll know that it's okay to come and get you. So the importance of your return on your investment, how we calculate it. What is good? What is good? Going on, making sure that I go through like the things I said. What is good? Why does it matter? And so that's why I want to talk about these thoughts because it just brings it home. Looking at formulas, not enough. Saying that you need to make sure that you investigate the difference between a 3% or uh, or 140% return versus a 50% return on investment. So the calculating the return on your investment is calculated by dividing the money you've made on the investment by the cost of that investment. So if you did an investment for $100, it cost you $100, then your return on the investment was one. And or you can look at it as 100%. You got your whole 100, you made your whole $100. You put in $100, you made $100 on your $100. Expressed in percentages, that one becomes one is 100%. 100% return on your money. What makes it a good investment? No, I actually, if you say, well, okay, I want a stock investment, what makes it a good return on investment? Then I would compare it to like the S&P 500. The S&P 500, the 500 largest stocks in the US, right? So the S&P on average, adjusted for inflation, um, is recorded to have a return on investment over the long term of about 7%. So we want to make sure that we're outperforming at least, you know, that 7%. So a good return on the investment generally is considered when you're looking at stocks, you're talking about at least 100% per year. And that's based off the historical average return of the S&P 500 after adjusting it for inflation. Sometimes the return on investment is called the rate of return that you made, the percentage increase or decrease in an investment over a particular period of time. Right. So it's calculated again by taking the difference between the current value or expected value and the original value divided by the original value and then multiplied by 100. That's your return on your investment. And the 100, you know, puts it into the percentage. So the I say a good point is to remember that all return on investments are not created equal, as I was saying in our intro moments. That if a person tells you a return on investment, just like say, you're talking about your house. This one comes up a lot. And pretty much people will say, I'm about to come and get you, Reverend Brown. So the
Oh,
exactly want to catch you off guard. So when they're talking about real estate, a lot of times it will say, "Well, I made money," and you might be talking about over the last 30 years. Like you'll say, people say, "Well, my parents bought that house at $30,000, and now it's worth 300,000." Is that good or bad?
it's
It depends, right? It really depends.
yeah. I mean, you asking my question?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it depends. When I say depends, I mean over time, over what
Mm.
you got to what inflation,
That's
depreciation, all that kind of good stuff has to come into the play. And then what would it cost to get that house that maybe 30,000 back then get built
right.
now?
Mm, that 300 might be nothing, right? I mean, that
It may with
300,000
the way
might
that,
be
right,
smack dab
right.
in the middle of the hood. You know what I mean? Like,
Good,
and in the section where
right,
nobody else wants to live. Nobody else wants to live there. But when they bought it for 30, it was like the best neighborhood in the whole city. Isn't that
correct.
something? And now at 300,000, not livable, bad roof, messed up floors, the wiring is messed up. Isn't that something? I'm
Hmm.
seeing it all the time. I'm seeing it all the time, but all we're thinking about is that it's worth 300. We're not thinking about, and if you calculate, see, because your return on your investment, you brought up some phenomenal points there, Dr. Brown, that the you know, that you got to factor in inflation, you know what I mean, depreciation. You got to factor in like all of these, you know what I mean, other issues are like, what is that 300 worth? Like, how much has the buying power in the environment changed? How much? So it's, but and the return on investment, that would be a disadvantage because it really doesn't tell you all that. So you might say, the return on the investment is 1,000%, and then you compare it to the stock market, and you go, well, this one gave me 1,000% return. And then they go, well, the stock market did, over the same, not or over the same time period, it might be a 10,000% return. But the but the but if they say like over a 5 year period of time, 80%. So they might say, well, my house did better, my house did better than the market, because that 30,000 you put in the market is only worth 60. But that was 5 years. You're comparing 5 years to 30 years. You're comparing something that you didn't have to put any money in it. How much did that house really cost you?
Hmm.
How many floors did you put in? How many property taxes did you pay? No, while stocks are growing, if you don't sell them, you don't even have to pay capital gains on it.
Hmm.
If it's in a retirement account, you're reinvesting the dividends, you're reinvesting interest you might be making, you're reinvesting. Isn't that something? You're deferring it. The but there are the capital gains on the house are deferred, but the port. I believe that the wealth gap that exists is because we have too few people in our community in the market, and so many of us using real estate as our major asset. We're
Hmm.
much more likely to have real estate than to have a stock.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So we still have that such a high percentage of us making these low returns on our investment over time, with the market just so drastically outperforming the stock market. And it's
Yeah.
never really being hit in our community that your return on your investment is low. The return on our investment, even in, unfortunately, in so many things, especially even in a lot of our educational things, because of the majors that we're selecting. No, but our education has been a major way out to make income,
Yeah.
but income does not equal wealth.
Oh.
Income does not equal wealth. So just because we're making more money, you know what I'm saying? We're not putting the money in the right areas to get the return on the investment. I'm telling you, if we had our own businesses, if we had our own, if we had a huge participation in the market and we were told, get in the stock market, I believe that we were most likely able to own property before we were able to set up an investment account.
Hmm.
Because for
Yeah.
a long time we could not buy stock, we could not own stocks. So, so if we were introduced to something first, and then because of the loans and the debt that can be used to purchase, like you can get a margin account for investments, but not dollar for dollar. So you can't really build your portfolio on loans, but you can get a house on a loan almost 100%.
Yeah. I I I watched some guys that when I was in the military that I mean, and they made a lot of money by investing in stocks, and I just kind of watched them, and I didn't do anything. And I could shoot myself because I'm telling you, both of them are well off of how they invested. Both of them, both
Right?
of them.
Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when you were, you being a military officer, they were pushing those loans, get the house, get the house, get the
yeah.
house, but nobody was really pushing that. Hey, buy some IBM, buy some
Affirmative.
IBM, get some,
You're
you know what
right.
I'm saying? Yeah, there was like
Right.
you were pushed, but the government really, not to pick on the government, but they really do well by us going into debt. They really
Yeah.
do.
Right.
We get the loans, you got to pay back the interest, you got to pay the taxes, Mr. Johnson. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So, definitely, I think return on investment has to be a commitment for the rest of our life. For the
Mm.
rest of our life, I believe that my life will change if I say, okay, what am I doing with my time? What is my return on my investment with this particular time that I'm putting in, whatever asset we have. And for most of us, time is our biggest asset. You know what I'm saying? So God has given us some time. How are we going to spend our time on doing this? And then when you're using your time wisely, your money will come into play automatically. And then you will start saying, that's why when a lot of these high risk investments that are out here, I can't argue that they may not work because they may work. They may indeed work, but I don't have the time for me to go through that. I don't have the time to take that chance. So when I use my knowledge during my time, I have to base everything that I do with my money based on historical performance, based on this 10-year period. You know what I mean? If it does as well as it did over the last 10 years, then I expect this to happen. And then I don't have to take on unnecessary or extreme risk at all. So there's a lot of times, as I was saying before, your return on investment can be destroyed because you find yourself going after returns that end up making you frightened. And so you have to sell out. The bulk
Mm.
of the people never really get the full return of the market. You know why? Because they sell out in the dip.
Yeah.
They sell out. To this day, my clients from 2001 go, I thank God that you were there for me because I remember doing a big conference call when 9/11 happened. And I was like, you know what, y'all, let's hold on. They closed down the market. Everybody was selling. I said, let's hold on. Susie Orman was on there. Sell all of it. Oh, and I'm up here saying, don't do it. And they're saying, oh, the white lady said sell it. And I'm like, no, we gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. It was hard, but my clients held on, and they are rich today from that. But if they had got it, I mean, she literally was going on national news saying it will never come back. In the big word, never. She said
Mm.
will never come back. If I said something crazy like that, but when people aren't licensed, they can do that. And I watch it all the time on social media. You know what I mean? There's this black guy, and he was saying for all of the summer, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash. And so a couple of weeks right before the market went down 1,000 points, he switched to the market's going to do great. The market's doing great. You got to buy some in the market. You got to buy some in the market. And I was like, I
Mm.
wonder what he's going to say today. I wonder what he's going to say today. Wasn't enough. He didn't have enough time to change the commercial. He didn't have enough time
Mm.
to change the commercial. So he's just running it. But I was like, that is so dangerous. We are messing up our return on our investment by chasing garbage. We have to make sound decisions and stick to it. You know what I mean? Because time is of the essence here. I think we need to do everything we're doing with a sense of urgency and stop just dragging around. I'll get to it later. Oh, I'm going to do that next year. How many people are talking about that right now? I'll do it next year. I'm going to call her next year. You know me? Well, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy next year. I'm going to be busy with the people who are already doing it last year. You know, it's so true though. There are certain things that are costing you. Your mindset is costing you so much. You can't even get involved. You can't even make, you can't even get a return on your investment because you're not investing anything. You first of all have to be investing something in order, you know what I mean, to get a return on your investment. You're not thinking about trying to start your own business. I mean, that is one of the most significant investments you can make is investing in yourself. There are people who will not even invest in the food that they eat. They will go buy the cheapest food they can find to consume in there. You only have one of you. There's only one of you. There's 1,000 stocks we can buy. There's only one of you.
Facts.
Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. Procrastination, Juan says procrastination has always been the enemy, yes, of success. Yes, it is. That's it. That's why the one, but return on investment, when somebody tells you the return on their investment, it's not enough because a return on investment has no acknowledgement of time. So we need to stop getting excited about, return on investment when things are taking too long.
Hmm.
Things are taking too long. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we're accepting it. You get out of school and you got this degree and you got a $50,000 loan and you went and accepted a $12 an hour job. And you said, I'll work on I'll get another one. I'll get another one. Yeah, but you don't even have your resume updated. 5 years later, you still at that same job. Now you're making 13.
Mm.
I told this young lady, I said, you stay in Afro economics, I will have your income doubled by the end of this year. She got out. She got out. We ain't got no
Mm.
time to make no money. I said, this is what we got to do. You got to be able to invest in order to get a return on the investment. You got to make an investment. And all ours was $1 a day. $30. Your future is not worth $30. $1 a day. People who can't invest $1 a day in their future to double their income, which is outside of the scope of what I do as an investment advisor. I just did not like seeing a woman with a college degree making basically minimum wage after taxes. That ain't right.
Mm.
Woo! But if you don't, if you want it, you know what I mean. Then but you're just gonna have. To, but I have so many people with multiple degrees who don't have anything, and people with no degrees who have everything. Everything. Mind right, house right, car right, body right, everything. And they haven't been, and in any debt to get there. We're missing it. If you want your return on investment to be high, you have to first invest the minimum. This brother, professional, he was a professional athlete. I met him 30 years ago almost. He said, I want to go into financial services. He said, I really need to talk to you. Kept calling my office. I called him back. I said, I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk. He's going to talk. He said, I really want to. He said, I was going to do this, but I didn't. I was going to grad school, but I didn't do that. I was going to suicide, but I wasn't going to do that. And I wasn't doing. I said, but you're a trainer, like you're an athlete. He said, yeah, but people won't listen to what I said, so I'm not going to do that. I think I want to do what you do. And I said, I appreciate that. But now you're in your 50s. You're in your 50s. Do you know how many years I've been working at this? I'm almost at 30 years. as a financial advisor, and I'm only 35. I'm almost at 30. Yes, I said, brother, you can do anything you want to do. Anything you want to do, but I'm going to tell you the best thing to do is to minimize your investment,
Mhm.
stop thinking about what you don't have, and maximize the experience you've had as a professional athlete and go out there and help somebody. Goodness gracious. Do you know the small number of people that ever been a professional athlete? Your return on your investment is taking the least thing. I told him, I said, my role model is Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and anybody who got where they got with the minimum amount put in. 50 Cent, Jay-Z. You know, I started my business with about $3,000. It has fed me for almost 30 years and other people. Come on. That's a return on your investment. I'm not even exaggerating. About $3,000. No SBA loan, no PPP loan, only work, hard work. That's a return on the investment. Minimum in, maximum out. Stop allowing people to make you think you don't have enough. You don't.
Mhm.
That's the programming. If you don't think that you're enough, you'll never be enough. So if the system wants to profit off you, then let me figure out how to keep this person as lost as possible. It's like let me make them feel like they need one more degree. Oh, look,
Hmm.
you need one more certification. Get the cert. What in the world is a certification? I mean, I understand that, like, that's cool and everything, and you like all those letters behind your name. But what about work? What about work? Like, what about the letters behind your name could be the number of people that you helped? That's what we need to have. It's like 10,353 people and counting. That's what it should
Mhm.
be like.
Facts.
I'm no longer. No longer. What is your return on the investment for all of those letters? What are those letters? They can't even tell you. Oh my. People do so well with things that they do minimum investment in. It does not cost people anything to get into the military. People have gone straight out of high school into the military, and it has changed the entire trajectory of their entire family. That's an investment.
Mhm.
Calculate that. Calculate that return on your investment. Yes, we're obligated to give back to the community. It happens in so many ways. The return on our investment. Yes, indeed, Mona Cherie. Look at this. Look at this. Look, Mona Cherie, there is now a SRIO. That is a social return on investment. That is a movement. That to to basically exactly what you said, like your every what are you putting in, even from a corporate perspective? What is your corporation doing that is helping the community? Just a profit based, financial based return on your investment, is not enough for those who are actually, you know what I mean, speaking, who are speaking. I wanted to put Mona Cherie's comment. That was so powerful. Exactly. Look at the I clicked the wrong. How you doing, Reverend Edlow? He said, and then end up paying for that cheap food. He's, of course, Dr. Edlow is a pharmacist. He's president of the Virginia Pharmacists Association. He said your cheap food leads to going on those needing the drugs. It's so true. So true. Thank you. We have to have him on one day. Like he'd be like, I can't come on there. The but we would love for you should come in the studio. We're proud that you are a member, obligated to give back to the community. It happens in many ways. That's interesting that she brought up the return on our investments, because indeed, I mean, that is part of what I want to add, because I'm taking this discussion to WTVR, CBS 6, the Virginia This Morning show on Monday. And I have in my notes to talk about the social return on investment. And, that it is definitely a method of measuring the values that are not traditionally reflected in financial statements. So it's looking at, social things that the business is doing that is impacting the community in positive ways. Is if someone were thinking about investing in JB Bryan Financial Group, and what was important to them was, what does this business do? You know what I mean? That helps the world, because building wealth within the Black community benefits the entire planet.
Mm.
The entire planet, not just our community that so many people think, but your success benefits everyone. We do not need on this planet any people who are disadvantaged or marginalized or left out. We do not need that. It does not help anyone. And that's why it's about empowerment. That's why I share these type of discussions, because too often we're not talked to about return on investment. We just spend our money. They say, well, the dollar only flips or goes one time in the Black community or something like that, and this and that. You know, all of that saying, all that means is that you're getting zero return on your investment. Where you spend your money, you're not getting anything back. You're not buying anything that builds you up. When you
Mm.
get your money, you're not buying any inventory so that you can spend it on someone else. Like I told these members the other day, they were getting this grant and they were trying to tell them what to spend their grant money in. And I said, well, you tell them you want to spend your money on inventory, because inventory will keep you fed. I said, spending money on marketing, that's all fine and good, but I can help you with that. but having money for your products, that's on a whole nother level. We can figure that out. We can figure that out, but coming up with cash, get the cash, buy the products, we'll figure out the marketing, we'll get the return on the investment. And one thing about social media, it is a great opportunity to increase your return on your investment as a business owner. You put $100 in social media and you're really getting something. But for a lot of forms of media, you can't even run a FM radio station ad in Washington, D.C. for $100.
Mm-mm. No,
But
you
you
can't.
might get, right? I mean,
That's
ain't
right.
nobody, they ain't even going to talk to you. Like, what are you talking about? But you can go right on social media. And that's something that radio stations are going to have to, and TV are having now a challenge with competing with, because social media is getting every size business. Where now radios and TV, now they're only getting larger businesses, and they're not getting the local attention anymore. We're not listening. We're not watching.
Hmm.
Look how many people are watching this. They're not watching TV. We're on social media. We're broadened. We know what's going on in Chicago just as much as you know what's going on in DC. We're doing this. So in finalizing my point on that, I do thank you for bringing up. Let's continue to look at that social return on your investment. I want to look at give another example before y'all leave me. Okay, let's talk the look at return on investment doesn't adjust for risk. I talked about that. It's common knowledge that investment returns have a direct correlation with risk. So the higher the potential return, the greater the possible risk, generally. So this can be seen at like technology stocks will typically have a higher return than, say, just a large company stock, because but that small cap tech stock will have more volatility. You're exposing yourself to more risk. So an investor who wants a 12% return would not be comfortable with maybe, you know, losing a negative 10% return, you know? So, and at the same time, the investor who would have been happy with a 4% return, you know, is not going to be happy exposed to something with such a high risk level. So you have to really kind of bring risk. So what I use is a computer algorithm to help me establish your risk. And in the algorithm, and we'll do it in one of the members only meetings. And the algorithm, it just kind of says, like, if the market dropped like this, and it gives you a nice little graphic, what would you do? Would you get out of the market or would you stay in? So the algorithm is kind of telling me, it's numerically evaluating how afraid you are of the stock market without saying it that way. So your score might come out as a 50, then that means, like, you know, you're not trying to be all high tech. You know, you're in the middle of the road where you're someone else's might come as low as 10 and they're saying, I don't want to see any volatility. So, you know, that the return on the investment can't be just looked at as that's the end all. That's all. Like, no. When it all comes down to it, a person is happy with me when they have their money plus some. They're not, you know what I'm saying? they're they're happy with just growing. So
Yes.
if they have to choose between growing a whole lot and then losing a whole lot, they'd rather just have a little plus some, you know. But and it's so the risk tolerance quiz kind of helps me see where you are on that. Because some people literally are comfortable with, if it dips a lot, they don't care. They go, I know I'm in it to win it. That's good. That's good. That's good. You know, so you know, I don't have to worry about you gonna try to choke me or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you have to know that return on investment is not everything. It's
Right.
also about time frame and also about the risk level of the investor. So the indeed, Ms. Pollard said, in even services in kind with knowledge of growing wealth matters. Yes, a couple of coins will do you. So stars like, what you saying, Star? Oh, I can't believe it. Your microphone's not working. I know. I don't know why.
But can you hear me, JB?
Yes. Mhm.
That's why I appreciate your risk assessment worksheet because
Great.
it does tell you whether you're a low risk or high risk. And I'm a high risk.
That's so good though. And you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
So that's consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because just becoming an entrepreneur is a high
high
risk.
risk. It's
Because
very high
you're like,
risk.
yeah, we don't have any historical performance. You know, when you first start businesses, you're just like, I just believe and I'm going to do this. And it's going to, you know, and you have to believe that it is going to work. Yes, indeed. So we're going to continue this return on the investment discussion. I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there, that a return on investment is important. Return on investment is a real number. Before you go, I want to just I'm gonna show these formulas again, so you'll have this on video so that you could come back, you know, and just look at this. Of course, all of this now is done in the computer, you know. But it's still important for us to know. Look, but I must tell you, like, hey, we don't. So this one is return on investment, net income. So net return divided by cost of investment times 100. So the and then this one is capital gain formula, current value of investment. And remember that net return, net anything means what you made minus what you spent on it. So it would be what you made on the house, 300,000 minus what you spent on it, and that's the net, divided by that same cost, what you spend on it, times 100. And then the return on investment formula using capital gain is the current value of the investment minus the cost of the investment divided by the cost of the investment times 100. So it just basically has the net divided by the cost. And then using your total return formula, and hope this is moving for you, it's a good example for this one is using stocks. So a $15 stock paid out $1.50 dividend minus $10 was the original price of the stock divided by the original price times 100 equals the 65% return on investment. Right. So even though that looks like that ain't nothing, because it made what $1.50, and you bought it and it was at $15, and then you made $1.50 dividend, and but you only spent 10. Yeah, that is something. You're $6.50 up times 100 shares, right? That's only based on one, but you might have 100 shares of it or 200 shares of it. So definitely, this is something that we should keep in our archives, and we are. We're going to keep this on the archives. We're going to come back to this. We're going to discuss it. You want to go into greater detail. You want to see what your return is on some things that you've been doing.
Mhm.
Let's look at the numbers. Don't just say, "Oh, it's higher than what I got it for." A lot of times it's up, but when you factor in all that you spent on that, you really didn't make that much at all. I even look back on a commercial property that I sold, how much I have put into the property. I let my tax preparer do it. He didn't calculate my cost basis, didn't ask me my cost basis, didn't ask how much I had put into the property, and I ended up paying capital gains way too much. Way too much. So now that's what's really pushed me. So that can cut out your. So it looked like on paper to the government that my return on investment was pretty good. This girl made some money, you know what I mean? But I didn't. And we get off on that. You got to pay taxes on that. But I didn't, and he made an error. So we have to be very careful. Now that's why I work with members on getting the cost basis right, giving the information to that tax preparer, or doing it yourself. Because it can cost you a lot when they just get sloppy, grab your numbers. They don't ask any questions. And y'all, tell me the truth. That's what happens. They just say it, just take it. They don't even ask. I think clients disabled, paying tax penalties. When you're disabled, you don't pay tax penalties on retirement account withdrawals. So if they coded wrong, you got to get that corrected. So your accountant should know you're disabled. They know you're getting a social security check. So they know it. I'm not the only person that know this. You know it. They know it. Come on. And you don't fire them. But let me make one false move, and they be trying to pull a dollar a day out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm gone. I'm gone. How dare she sit there and try to make me rich? I don't care. I'm gonna do God's will till I take my last breath. I'm
All
gonna
right.
do right by you. I am going to do right. I am going to do right by you. Hmm. Amen. What y'all
All
thinking
right.
before we go? No, thank
I'm
you.
thinking about that SROI. That is powerful.
Amen. That social return on investment. That's right.
Yes, that
That's
is
right.
because I
Because
don't think
some
we
of
even
our
consider that.
think about the companies that have a negative social return on investment.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
companies that are like Exxon and stuff that destroyed oceans and stuff.
See, I'm thinking
Companies
about.
like Tesla. Tesla has a major freaking lawsuit for racism. They
Mhm.
paid out like $1 million or something. it was like a lot. It was like a lot. I don't know if it might have been like 100 million. I was like, what in the world?
But see,
But
watch this. Generational wise, when you think about the structures and the buildings that's been built and the people who have died but left
mm,
it to their children,
mm,
that's a
mm,
social return on an investment.
mm.
I think one of the reasons why we don't even think like that because we ain't building nothing.
Amen.
We are
Amen.
just
We gave up on that thought.
consumers.
We gave up on that thought that we can make a difference. We
So
gave up
that's for
on
me.
that thought.
I'm on a whole different frequency with that. I'm like,
We gotta
hmm,
we gotta hold on. We
yeah,
have to hold on. We can do this.
yeah.
We can make a difference. We can make a difference.
We
It
have
is
to.
so hard. It is so hard to keep that attitude because you feel so insignificant. You feel like what you're doing, what you're saying doesn't make a difference. I mean, you just truly do because everything, like you said, is based on monetary return.
Right.
It doesn't, you know what I mean? We're not ever focused on social return on investment.
And
I was watching an interview today and 50 Cent was saying that on this Black Mafia family, that people ask him, like, what do you think of the impact that that has on the Black community? And he said, well, do you think that somebody asked Scarface that? Do you think they asked, the other people that? I can appreciate that, but we still have the right to ask you. You know
right,
what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
look, it's like, I appreciate that, but we really still need to ask, does it glamorize? You know what I mean? Something that maybe we do need to shut down because I love the show. I love the show. Yo.
That's a part of our fabric. Watch this. That's like we don't do guns. We abhor guns,
Yeah.
but that don't mean we don't need guns.
Amen. You're right. So I still need to acknowledge that's what he was saying, that the story is bigger than just the drug. The story
Yes.
is the Christian family and the challenge with taking care of their bills and not having the money and you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I guess that's how it does. It keeps my attention, because it's true. Like you have these kids that can pay the bills and dad can't pay the bills, and it's like how many people have to make that challenging choice. And but that is something for our community to discuss. But I do feel that um, we myself need to continue to promote that we have options. Need
Yes.
to promote that there is hope. I would need to promote that entrepreneurship, works and that we are very intelligent people and that, we can be entrepreneurs and we don't all have to be in the drug game, that there are legitimate good businesses, and there are, good people that love God, because we just have this movement away, you know what I mean? Just away from our relationship with God, too, that I believe is part of our whole social, just respecting everybody's own individual way
Hmm.
they want to worship. But I believe that it does help us all to have a relationship with God and that,
Facts.
and bringing that back, and bringing that freedom back to our community. I don't think I have the right to tell you how. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel that I should try my best to encourage a social return on investment that is positive. I do feel responsible. You remember when Charles Broccoli said, I'm not your child's role model? Like, I don't feel that way. I do feel like I'm the child's role model.
Hmm. Hmm.
I do. And
You
I'm
are.
glad you do. I'm glad you all feel that way too.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Prior preparation prevents poor performance. We always have and can use options. Hmm. We can make a difference. Yes, we can. Do you have any idea, y'all, what VOT FYI means? I don't. Oh, I'm Jackie. That's the second person. We can talk here. You are safe.
EOTFY.
VOT.
I know FYI is for your information. We know
I
that.
know. I don't know.
VOT.
Each one, reach one.
Mm,
Exactly. I don't know, but it's much more fun when I understand what you're talking about.
Victory over time or something? I don't know.
Once we start teaching our children about the value of holding on to generational wealth, like keeping the family house or business, yes, the and then most importantly, teaching the kids about the value of seeing the wealth. Like sometimes people hold on to a business they don't need to hold on to.
Facts.
Like, Mr. Simmons, and sometimes like a brother called me the other day and he had a business for 50 years and he just wanted to close the business down. And I said, you shouldn't just close your business down. You have value in this business and I can help you find it. And he said, well, no, I just want to close the business down. I'm not even lying. I said, well, I just want you to join and let's talk it through. I said, let's just talk it through.
Hmm.
But, you know, he didn't want the business. He had kids. He didn't want to give the business to the kids. He didn't want to talk about. I don't know exactly why he even called me. I don't know, but it just didn't. I don't think it went the way that he expected. He probably just thought I was going to play along, and he thought I was going to say, "Well, how much money you have? Okay, let's invest." And I'm not going back there. That's where
Hmm.
my career started. You know what I'm saying? Now my career is about wealth, generational wealth. Like you said, not just making little transactions, trying to make a little bit of commission. I'm building an empire. I want to be remembered 100 years from now. And when they look at this video that JB Bryan helped my dad pass on that business, you know what I mean? Forever. And it doesn't have to be in the family, but pass it on. There are people
Hmm.
who want to buy your business so that they don't have to start from where you started from.
Facts.
And they'll give you that value. They will give you money for that. They will pay you for the next 10 years if they don't have it already. Right? You can get a return on that investment you made into that business if you allow me to help you. But first of all, we have to allow someone to help them. I mean, but think about it. The fact that membership is only $230, $30 a month, he could actually make probably $1 million off that business by just making a $230 investment, especially when I've turned him on to that stuff. If he goes somewhere else, they're going to charge him thousands and may not even do a deal. I remember I talked a client out of, I said, don't, she wanted to sue her employer. I said, don't hire anybody. We can do this together. And she did it together and she made like big money, big money. You know what I mean? And was able to keep it all. I was able to keep it all. All you need is someone to walk you through it, right, Miss Davis? Just somebody walk you through it. Just need somebody can relate. But we're not, you know what I mean? But I think that I don't know. But don't allow your past experiences with people impact the new people that you meet.
Hmm. Hmm.
We got to give every single human being the benefit of the doubt. Don't we? Like we really do. If not, you will miss out on that one person you were supposed to be, you know what I mean, connected to. We're hot to this giving, until proven otherwise, see everybody as a good person. Isn't that true? Until proven otherwise.
Watch this. I think that if it's 4 seasons in a year, I think that a lot of us have had a bad season,
Mm.
and then we would transfer that bad season to every season. So
Yeah.
they give up on it. So they had a bad season in the summer, then
Mm.
it's a bad season in the fall, in the winter, and the
Woo.
spring.
Woo.
And you got to know when to make the adjustments that that was the bad season in that summer. This is a
Woo.
new season.
Amen.
That's
Speak.
what I think. Yeah,
That is so true though.
yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's been 2 years and you've been in a bad season. Then it'd be 3 years. And then four. I promise I think I was in a bad season for at least 10 years. Like I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, do not take time for granted.
Yeah.
Oh my god, because you can't get it back.
That's the one thing you can't get
And
back is
you're just
time.
spinning around in circles, like thinking, why this happened to me? Why this happened to me? You know what I'm saying? You're like,
And watch this. And then a lot of people are very indifferent to the money.
yes, 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 that is so true. They'll go, money doesn't matter. Money doesn't really matter. But yet they're all they talk about is money. But all you talk about is money. Why are we talking about it? Why are you talking about it? What are you mad about? What are you upset about? Why are you worried about you might lose your house? Money don't matter, right? If
Indifferent.
money, if money don't matter, what
Bruh.
you driving the car for? Like, you know what I'm saying? You just if the people whom money matters the least are the people who actually manage their life well and have their priorities straight.
Right.
They do not go into unnecessary debts, and they have a great work ethic,
Hmm.
and they do unto others as they would have them do unto them. They do right, so they live a stressless life, and they make lots of money because
Hmm.
of that. Because they just get to focus. They just get to focus, even though they're not even trying to make money. It just flows to them. It just flows to them.
Facts.
Amen, Mr. Simmons. Make sure you join Afro Economics. He says he's seeking out mentors and teachers to help us maintain your empower. You're just out there, man. You need to come on.
He's listened to the best teacher in the
Amen.
world.
Amen. We just
Not in America, in the world.
in the world. You are the chosen one, Mr. Simmons. God has connected you with the.
Yes.
Thank you, Rosita. Thank you, Rosita. Yes, indeed.
Come on.
But we can, and and tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So all I have is this moment. Whatever I can do to help, please, you all, seriously, let me know. And I mean, it's the most generous group in the world. The other day, someone told me they want to for me to send Mr. Johnson's information to them because they were talking about they wanted to learn firearm training, a female. And
Okay.
I said, I'm going to get him the information. So I'm going to get that to you.
That's
I'm going
okay.
to get you that. I'm going to let you know when I give them that info. But once you get into the right network, right, Star? I was telling Star the same thing the other day. I said, once you get in, you don't have to feel like you have to hire strangers to help you.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Once you get connected, then it's like you have your brotherhood, your sisterhood. And when we need each other, we have a concern, we can be there
Right.
for one another. And we'll know. But it feels so much better. Like my alarm system was set up by a member of Afro Economics. That feels better than some stranger coming in your house and setting up your alarm, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
when it comes to renewal, it's going to someone, you know what I mean, that's supporting me. Mm,
watch this, JB. I think that a lot of us have lived a life of they don't deserve.
mm,
They don't deserve
mm,
the best.
mm,
They don't deserve nothing. So you
mm,
giving this type of advice, I
mm.
mean, you giving advice that people will pay thousands for, they
Amen.
still have that mindset, I don't deserve this.
Amen.
We got to get them off that you do deserve this.
Amen.
That's why you're listening right now. You
Amen.
deserve the best. You
Amen.
deserve the best financial advice. You
Amen.
can't look.
Amen. Amen.
Charles
And
Schwab
then
didn't
but
give
they
you
have
this.
or they should also wonder why they don't think they deserve it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, check that.
Programmed,
Check that.
programmed to fail.
Yeah. Check that.
They
Check that.
programmed.
What makes you think it like, what if someone else said that? No, we definitely do need to get our business directory together, Ms. Neville. We're gonna get that as well. And every Friday at 12 o'clock, we have our business network. We definitely do. I want to do it. See, it's just so tight knit. That's why we don't do it public.
That's right.
That's
Say
why
something for us.
we,
Say something
we
for
got to
us.
we got to keep it in the house.
Yes, yes, yes. The round table discussion.
Round table. Exactly.
Yeah.
Not red top. What's
Not red top.
What she
Not red
call it
top.
red top?
Not,
This is
not,
black top.
the
Black
black
top.
top. And look, and black come in all colors. We got the whitest of chalk
Yes,
and the
we do.
blackest of
Yes,
chocolate.
indeed.
Okay.
Indeed. It all multicolor.
All colors.
Exactly. And we
Yes.
are deserving. Someone
Very
said,
much.
Brother Ron, truth, we are deserving.
We
That's
deserve
right.
it. I
That's
mean,
right. That's right.
if I can get
Mhm.
folks to see how important you are,
Yes, indeed.
uh, and how important their finances would change, their watch this, their mindset would change. If we
That's
can
right.
change their mind, we can change their
That's right.
direction.
That's right.
And
That's right.
you know, you're using a nice big hammer. And you
Mm,
just bringing some bad concrete, some bad foundation,
mm,
because this is
mm,
what they need. I
mm,
mean, this is
mm,
what they need. This
mm,
is what we need.
mm, mm, mm. But
That's
this,
why I am a member, a
amen.
proud member of
Amen.
Afro Economics. She
Amen.
gets my money
Amen.
automatically every month.
All
Amen.
right.
Please
With
speak.
happiness, I give it.
Speak. Claim it.
Happiness.
Speak. You know,
Happiness.
speak. Thank you.
Yeah. Come
And
But
on, man.
that's
because
the
of
thing.
that,
That's what's wrong with some of our people. They want it for free.
amen.
They feel like they can click every video and every TV show and get it for free. Or they can get it from Susie Orman or
Right. That's
uh,
right.
um,
That's right.
who are the
And if they do that,
financial gurus.
yeah. And if they, and if they do that, they're not getting any return on their investment because nothing about what she said actually applies to you.
Hmm.
I
Mm,
can't, because we have our one-on-one time, I get the opportunity to empower you specifically. So that increases your return on your investment.
hmm.
If
Hmm.
it's just generic information all the time, then that has no empowerment to you. I can't, and what I mean, no love just for you, no empowerment just for you, no peace just for you. That's just random.
Right.
And so many of us are like just making financial decisions for your life based on random data. Like how many people, like I was saying about with 9/11, when she was like, it's never coming back. Like, and people did it.
Mm,
And people did it. And you can't sue the person. You can't do anything, because she's not licensed. She's not
right.
accountable. But you just, you know what I mean? You did it. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Just like that. I mean, she had a debit card that came out and people were putting the money in, sending the money in
Wow.
and everything. And it was promised that it was going to increase your credit score. This is like national. And Elizabeth, that lady out of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren, is her
Hmm.
friend. So Elizabeth told her, shut it down. She gave her a chance to shut it down and everything, but it was about to become like this one guy did a video. You should look it up on the internet. And he said that if anybody else had done that, they would have gone to jail because
Mm,
Hmm.
what she had promised was fraudulent.
mm,
It was
Wow.
like it could not increase your credit score by your deposits that you put in there, and that the fees that were charged were extreme. It would like you be charged for like random stuff, and you know what I mean. And that is happening to us a lot. The fees on your checking account immediately take you into a negative return. Negative. Because you're not getting anything. So if they
Mhm.
charging you anything, you know what I'm saying? What in the world? There was one like one member was telling me about an online checking account that charged her $70 for making a deposit because her
that's
deposit
crazy.
was so big.
That's
Because her
crazy.
deposit was big. And they were saying that, going on the black thing, that we're black and we're all about the blackness and black, you know what I'm saying? Be very careful,
It's true.
unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? To make sure, because a lot of these are just computer companies that are marketing as black concepts.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Very careful, because if you're about the community, then your social return on investment should be positive. You should not be harming us.
No harm to anyone.
No harm to anyone.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. Be careful. You all have a wonderful week. I look forward to our Friday meeting. Thank you so much for your time. It was great.
Thank you.
How you
Thank
doing,
you.
Mr. Charles? I
Thank
see you,
you.
Diana Charles. I see you all. I appreciate. I'm so glad I can see the chats tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson and Star. I'm so glad that y'all went into the room. And when it goes down, I'm so glad Mr. Johnson made a comment because I couldn't even see you in there. Like
Yeah.
it's down the window. So yeah, thank you so much. It makes such a difference to have this discussion, to have
Yes.
the feedback, the things that you're saying. Yeah, Rosita, doesn't it make a difference? You know, just to have the interaction with each other, and it so I appreciate the generosity of sharing your thoughts
We thank God
because
for you.
it's a vulnerable feeling, and it's easy. There's people out there who are just talking about us,
Hmm.
but it's the people who we've helped. They're the only ones that matter. They're
Right.
the only ones that matter. It's so I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's not for them. This ain't for you. This is for the people who want to return a positive return on investment in their life, in their investments, in their job,
Yes.
in every aspect of their life. They want a positive social return on everything. Mm,
You better get that shirt.
amen.
That shirt. Get that on the shirt. Social return on investment. You better get that shirt.
Amen. I'll let you have it. Don't
I'll
worry.
take it. I'll take it.
Exactly. 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 Don't you worry. It's all in the family. You get rich, I'm rich with you.
Absolutely. We
You know
taking
what
the
I'm saying?
whole crew with
You see what
us.
I'm saying? You'll
The
get
whole
rich.
crew. Yes.
Come on, Star, you get rich, rich, rich too. Amen. Look, the only thing better than being rich is having all rich friends.
All right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because y'all got to
Social
pay the
return.
taxes. Look, y'all got to pay the taxes.
We get rich. I'll pay the taxes. It's okay.
Amen. Amen.
I'll pay the taxes. It's
Amen.
okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Tamara.
you. Thank you. Have a
Mhm.
great day, and
Thank
I will
you.
see you Friday and possibly Sunday.
Amen.
All
Yeah,
right. See you
no.
Friday.
All
Thank
right
you
now.
so much, y'all. Have a
Good night.
wonderful night. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Thank you. Thank you, Rosita. Thank you, Ms. Charles. Thank you, Ms. Pollard. Thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all time. And I will go in later on and make sure I say something to all of you in social media for your support. Please share, be empowered. Check me out at jb@jbbryan.com. Thank you, Mr. Moses Jenkins. Good night back at you. Good night. Miss Pritchett, I think we talk tomorrow. I look forward to it. I seriously look forward to it. That's cool. I do. If it's not, I know it's soon. Talk to y'all soon. I'm JB Bryan, the creator of Afro Economics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. Afro Economics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out Afro Economics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly Afro Economics podcast. There are many levels of Afro Economics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. #AfroEconomics.